So you spend a lot of your life thinking and also playing music. What kind of musician are you? And tell us a little bit about your adventures in the music world.
Well, I started when I was 7, and my parents gave me a wonderful, beautiful clarinet, and I took private lessons, and I was practicing on and off, but I was pretty much consistent in that on and off. So over the lifespan of 10 years, I was still playing, and then eventually ended up in an orchestra and other settings, band settings. And in the orchestra, though, I felt like after a while, like it was not loud enough. Like, you know, with 50 other musicians and my clarinet, I couldn't hear myself. So I wanted to volume it up a little bit, and I got interested in the saxophone and the horns. So I picked up the tenor saxophone, and I really fell in love with tenor, and then also with jazz and the traditional jazz. And I was like very dedicated for like from then on probably about 15 years playing jazz and building a career around jazz. It's a pretty cold breeze when it comes to music. Being a musician in New York is such a complete jungle where there's so many beautiful, talented musicians actually. But that's a beautiful side of it. Like that's the beauty that is really a tremendous amount of like melting pot of really cool, creative artists all together, but then also musicians of all kinds from all over the world. That being said, you can imagine how it is when you come there and you audition. It's like really high pressure. You know, every audition has like a minimum of 500 musicians in the hallway. And I wasn't so successful with the auditions in New York. It cracked my ego quite a lot too, because it was such a harsh experience and not very friendly, or like, oh, thank you for taking time and coming, and maybe we see us in 4 weeks. It was really like, thanks, next kind of experience, and there you are. You practice for hours and you give your best, and it's like a smash in your face, literally.
I want to know what you think about jazz in relation to yoga. How is jazz like yoga? What is it about jazz that you love that you see in yoga, or how did you make that transition?
It is the being here now that's in the jazz too. Like there's no escape. You're on stage, you can't go back or forward. You have to be in the present moment. And the beautiful thing about jazz is you learn a lot of harmony and theory. It is very complex actually. And then the next challenge is to throw it all away and let go of it and fly free again. For me at least, it's the same with yoga. Since it's not so much like a monologue or like I'm teaching something and here you have it, it is more like a conversation, and the quality of it is like, again, be here now, see what's in the room, because we are many, it's not just me, and then pick up that energy. And of course with time, when you know the basic sequencing and the basic understanding of yoga, you develop also the quality of just improvising. And I love to improvise. That's the main fun. I think I would be bored to hell if I would just teach the same thing over and over.
Sure.
It's great. It's also a bit scary sometimes, because sometimes I go into class very blank and just like, oh my God, what am I going to do? But then like instantly after 1 or 2 minutes, I totally know what to do, and I change my mind within the class 20 times.
During the class?
During the class. So that makes it all fun, because I see people inspire me too. Yogis inspire me with how they respond to what's going on, and little comments or little moves, and I'm like, oh my God, this is cool. I'm going to steal that right there and, wave that into the next round. So, and it's pretty much like jazz music. It's the same thing. It's like a whole band. It's a whole orchestra in the room, and we all create the music together. I'm just like a little, not little, but it's just an impulse, maybe, something like
impulse and
leading the group, so we're not all smashing against the wall. So, but that's it, pretty much. Just a little.
Really fascinating. Really fascinating. I think I would be scared shitless. I don't know what I'm going to do from start to finish, but I think that's really beautiful also, because the amount of presence that's required to be able to catch what's happening and to work with it. I know you could just go in and kind of say, here's what I'm going to do today.
Actually,
and just do exactly what. Well,
I couldn't.
Someone could.
Yeah.
Someone could. You
Yeah.
don't teach this way, but
Yeah.
someone could go in with a class lesson and sequence whatever, and say, this is what I'm going to teach, and teach it no matter who's in the room or what else comes, or so that's really interesting, and it makes a lot of sense. that you do like to improvise, especially having that jazz background?
It's my savior to improvise because that's why I actually almost jumped into your sentence. I have a hard time memorizing things. I can memorize conversations and life experiences, but if you give me a poem and like learn it by heart and then copy paste, same with the sequencing or like do this class, I can remember it. I can teach a class and do it the next day again, but I have a hard time to go with that attitude into a class and just like, I want to do this the next 90 minutes.
Sure.
And it's even that would stress me out. That would stress me out.